Well, hello, welcome to Drawing with Fire. I'm Valarie and joined today with hubby.
Hubcap.
No special name? No special name?
I'm the Emperor of Coffee.
Oh, why that is not muted, I don't know.
It's not my fault.
It's not your fault, no, it's my fault. Alright, sorry about that, guys. And I am going to be swatching out the Arteza Real Brush Pens on wood. This is Birch. The blue tape that you see is protecting the wood that I did not spray with polyurethane in order to see how the markers not only do on raw wood but on the sealed wood. And I hate when it does that. So I'm going to take this off. I just want you guys to see that that's how I have these separated. This is a very thin piece of birch that's kind of bent, so it's rocking. Pull them out. You can see where it's a little darker. That is where the wood was sealed. And so we will get started. Hi Eve, hey Sheila and Podge and Robin. So what I'm going to do, I decided that I'm fine with...
And Philip.
Oh, sorry Philip. Hi Philip. Just glancing, I just realized my camera is in the way of the light. So let's try doing that. So hopefully you can see better. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to keep them in order. These have both numbers and names, but I did not write those down yet. I will use a Sharpie or whatever over the color once it's dried and do that. I have a palette so that I can scribble some out and mix it with water and see how that blends. And we'll just get started. So I have towels. I have to be careful because I don't want the rest of the wood wet. This side of the wood, which you can't see, is going to be for another color medium that I'm testing. This board is going to be Lightfast tested, and I will explain why here in a little while. And I'm doing the color pencils down at the bottom, and then everything's going to go in the window. So, looks like we are starting with yellow. Got everything here. I'll move things over so you guys can see. It keeps dimming, and I don't know why. Every time I put something on the screen, it dims. It drives me nuts. So what I can do is that. There we go. Hopefully that looks better. So let's get started. So I want to see how the wood, I know the color is going to travel, so I'm not worried about that. I know that these are dye-based, so they're transparent, so I didn't even bother to burn just to see how the color looks over it. I can also do that later. And I do suggest that if you're going to be using these, that you swatch them out on whatever wood you prefer to work with to see how it reacts. And I sealed the bottom so that I didn't have to have a line. This varnish should keep it from going anywhere. And if I need to zoom in, I will. So right now, I will take a little bit of water. I don't want it too wet because it will raise the grain. And let's see. That's just moving it from the wood. And then I'm going to mix a little on this palette and add some water and apply it directly with the brush. So these are different things that I look for when I'm picking a color media to use.
There we go.
Something happened?
No, I had to refresh the live chat because it wasn't
It
refreshing.
does that. It bugs me. All right, so of course, because we're adding water to the marker, it's going to be lighter. And I can tell you now, I did some research this morning, checking things out about these and about Arteza themselves. I won't go into the issues that I had with the company that Arteza was working with. But I will show information that I have. So this is the next color called Fair Skin. And I'm going to try not to get too close to the line.
So, Michael Ann, her battery is only at 17%. So she's not sure. So when she says 17%, I'm assuming that Michael Ann is a robot. And
her hamster wheel is dying.
I don't want her to run out of power.
Hey, Michael Ann.
So.
Alright, so this color you can see a little bit better as to what it does on the varnished versus the raw. And in some level it's going to work like that on your burning too, because the burning acts, because you burned it, it kind of seals the wood. So if you're having problems with some areas not taking color as well, that's why. If you notice, this one did not blend quickly, and I know, even though I was quick about it, I know the reds and purples are really going to stain, and that's ultimately what this is doing to the wood. It's staining the wood. Unfortunately, these will fade. So, if you're doing it as a hobby, and you have them because you're using these markers for bullet journaling or, whatever you're using them for. We all have our things we do.
Well, there is a caveat to that. If you are in the business of professional illustration, or if you are specifically doing something to make a print, then you sometimes using fugitive colors, we call them,
works better.
Because they're vibrant a lot of the times, but they're not light fast. But so you do the project and then you archive it for your client or whatever, for whatever purpose that you're doing it, and then the original will fade, but the archive piece will always be vibrant.
Yeah.
As long as you're printing it in on archival materials or
but for wood burning
form.
For wood burning, if you're wanting to use them knowing that they're going to fade, as long as you're informed, that's definitely your choice. But I would not suggest using these for anything, commissions or anything you will be selling.
So here's an tainted love. Sorry. I did a project a while back, and it was a commission for a comic book store, and that was like 30 years ago.
I was about to say that.
I'm so old. Anyway.
Yes, you are.
But that's not helping.
That's what I do.
Anyway.
Sorry.
Almost made me lose my track. Losing my mind. Anyway, so I thought that I was using archival materials. I was really inexperienced. I was just doing it, and they put this painting that I did in their window, and it's been in their window for all this time.
Is it still there?
Yeah, it's still there. I should take a picture of it next time I go up. But it's like on a side door now. It's not in the main display anymore.
It's up in Anchorage.
Yeah, in Alaska.
In case anybody's...
But it's completely bleached out. So it looks like a black and white like a monochromatic version.
Yeah.
What's interesting though is that like all the details have been retained. It's just bleached.
And that's in Anchorage where half the year it's hardly any sun.
Yeah. Now, I don't know how long, because I wasn't there for a long time, so I didn't get to see the
process.
Yeah, the process of it. But I can say for sure that over a period of 25 years that it did bleach out.
What did you use?
I was using Createx, and
they claim to be Lightfast.
They may be now, but 25 years ago, that may have been a different story.
Oh.
And I didn't. I mean,
when you're in...
and it has to be said too. You know, I'm not sure what I sealed it with, or if I sealed it, because I was pretty new back then. But you know, you do have to be careful if you want your work to last. And then, even if it is Lightfast, like, there's still considerations that you have to take as far as, like, if you're going to frame it, you know, UV protective glass is a thing. And you definitely don't want...
Well, I don't use the UV glass, but I do use UV spray.
Right.
And even then, it's still...
And you do want to keep your work out of, like, the direct rays of the sun. So.
Yep. So, as we're going along, of course, adding directly to the wood is a lot brighter. And I mean, so far they're great colors. And if you're just doing it for yourself or a hobby, you know, and you know what's going on, then I say go for it. It seems to do, I mean, the wood, of course, sucks it up a whole bunch. That one traveled a little bit, but overall they're actually not traveling as much as I would have expected.
Yeah.
And that is a surprise. These are water-based. And the information shows them as non-toxic. And there was something else I wanted to see. This red, it looks like it's almost dried out. I just got these like a couple months ago, and they have not been used. So it should not be dry. What is your phone doing?
It's not my phone. That's your tablet.
Why?
Okay. It was a notification.
I turned all those off.
Apparently not. Your tablet has other ideas.
I guess so.
So get ready. Well, yeah. Well, did you already say hi to Cheryl? You did.
No, I did not say hi to Cheryl.
Cheryl
Hey,
Bennett.
Cheryl.
Cheryl Bennett's here. As is Lana Goes Art.
Hey, Lana. All right. I'm trying to keep everything where you can see it, so you know how.
You have a question.
Mm-hmm.
This is from Michael Ann. If you use Lightfast paints, should you still use the UV spray? I paint on watercolor paper or not wood.
If your colors are Lightfast, then you should be fine.
I'm going to be the devil's advocate there.
I'm going
to say...
I mean, you still can.
I'm going to say yes, because double protection.
You don't have to, no.
Double protection.
In fact, most watercolors don't.
And then you can frame it under UV
that you can do,
glass.
Yes.
Triple protection. And then put it in a closet. Quadruple protection.
And then in your mind, because it's in the closet, you never see it. In your mind, it's never faded.
It's not. And then when you view it under, you get night vision goggles, and that's what you use to look at it.
Oh, gosh.
You insist that everybody use these.
Thank goodness we don't.
Would you like to see my art? Use these. No lights.
Step into my closet. Thank goodness we don't have to do that. Alright, I'll just put this out so I can cap the lid and move on. So you can adjust how bright your color is. Apply it with a brush so that on the wood it comes off lighter if that's what you want. Now, like I said, this bottom part is all varnished, and if you know, and it's just one layer of varnish. If you notice, it's not as bright as going directly onto the wood. And that tends to be normal when you're using inks or dyes. It won't be as bright.
So, I have a question. Let's say that I'm a viewer tuning in, and you're doing these swatches. What's the point?
What's the point? Well, two things, or a couple of things. I want to see how the wood is going to wrap, because the wood is not white. It has its own color, so it's going to affect what the color actually looks like just slightly. And each wood is different on its colors. Come on. So I want to see that, because I may want to use a different color because one color isn't, what I expected it to be. I'm also going to, like I said, put this in the window since we're in Arizona, where most, where there's labs here in Arizona and in Florida where there's the most sun, that the big companies send. Did I just do this? No, I didn't. I say it's the same looking color. It's 2 different pens. To test for light fast and archival properties. So we already have the sun, and in my view, if the color doesn't fade here, you're pretty much safe everywhere. Because even when it's below freezing, the sun itself is still very strong and will fade things.
So we have Teresa Luchsinger.
Hi,
in chat
Teresa.
who says hey, and Chris Gershner says,
Hey, Chris.
"Oh, sorry, I'm late."
That's okay. So I'm trying not to raise the grain, but because I'm wetting the wood, it is going to happen. I did not sand this board first. It was already pretty smooth.
For shame.
I know.
You're slacking.
I know. I didn't feel
disappointed in you.
Okay, here's the other reason. I didn't feel like it.
Whatever.
I did not feel like sanding. I'm still working. I got a deadline in under 24 hours, and I just did not feel like it. So I didn't.
Well,
This one really bled. And I didn't even touch that area with water.
Lana Zard has a question. Denied, Lana. No. Have you ever tried out transparent watercolor ground on top of your wood burning?
Yep.
I think. Didn't
The
you do that
orchids. Yep.
What about George? Or was that?
No, that's paper. He's
Okay.
asking about wood. Yep. The orchids that in fact, we did a live coloring them. And on using the ground, I would suggest several layers of ground versus just the one that I used.
You said you did a piece like that for an AAC, is that right?
With the ground, no.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, look at that purple travel. That's a juicy pen. It's just going right across the board.
What does it taste like?
It doesn't smell.
Yeah, but what does it taste like?
You want to taste it?
No.
Because I'm not. I'm not doing it. I'm just trying to... What I'm doing is tapping off the water. Let's be cleaner.
In my youth, when I was first started airbrushing, I was using my paints, and they're non-toxic. And
Did you taste them?
People would ask me, right? Like, people would ask me that, like, aren't you worried about the fumes? Aren't they toxic? And I would, like, spray a little in my mouth. And I was like, they're not toxic. See?
So that's what's wrong with you. Why would you eat your paint?
You know what? And it hasn't affected me at all. It hasn't affected me at all. What are we talking about?
Why in the hell you eat your paint?
Hey, I did eat my paint when I was younger. Did I tell you that story? And it hasn't affected me at all. What was I doing?
Yeah, don't eat your paint, people. Don't drink your paint water. Don't do any of that.
Well,
I like the purple color, and actually on the wood you can see it kind of separating. Because it's not like it's a single dye. It's mixed, so...
actually, I should probably preface that with, like, when I was first started airbrushing and I wasn't very good at it, and I would get tip drying, and then I would get clogs, and then I'd get back pressure. And I had a tip clog one time, and...
You put it to your mouth and blew it out, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
No?
I was, like, looking at it, and the airbrush that I use has separate paint reservoirs with caps, and the back pressure blew the cap off, and all the paint went in my face, and some of it went in my mouth, and it reminded me of, like, growing up in Alaska. Like, sometimes we would have people coming from overseas, and we would get this chocolate, and so we would, save it, for a rainy day, which there's a lot of, but anyway. And it reminded me of this chocolate that we had that was like stale orange chocolate.
Ugh.
Anyway, and I was like surprised, but then I was like, hey, this tastes like that chocolate. Anyway, no, I didn't like finish off the cup or anything. So.
You said you.
But, now that I'm older and I've learned
yes,
about what happens to painters who eat their paint, bingo.
Kind of stay away from it now?
Yeah.
Alright, now adding water is going to get streaky at times, so you'll have to kind of balance. I need to put a little bit. This package is a pain in the butt. Alright, I want a little bit more color.
Cheryl's asking, how old am I again? I'm more than 5. But I don't act
Your birthday's at the end of the month.
I don't act like it.
Thank goodness.
Lana Goes Art has another question. What do you do with the swatches on wood? / how do you store them?
In a pile. I do keep them. Because if I decide that I want to do another color project, sometimes you just don't remember what the results were. So I keep them. Plus, if somebody asks me, I have the swatch and I can show them. So, I keep them. This one, I try to keep them small, whether it's thin boards or if they're thicker boards, just not as big, so that they're easy to put away. That's what I do in general. And I try to put as many different media on that board so that I'm consolidating and using less of wood. This board I intentionally bought at Michael's for maybe $2 for testing color media on.
See,
this one was intentional.
And you are so organized, and you have these swatches, and so when Valarie gets ready to do a project, it doesn't matter what medium it is, whatever she's using, she has the swatches, and she has.
Oh, you're talking about my binder.
Yeah, and so she has everything organized by color and cross-referenced, and it's really amazing.
Makes me sound bad.
No surprises, right? But it's better probably because I paint like Frankenstein trying to arrange flowers.
How many times have you had to redo something because you grabbed the wrong color?
Many times because I'll be
or it didn't react.
I'll be painting and then it'll react weird and I'll be like.
And see, I'm trying to avoid that.
Yeah, well, and you do. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
It's a way to go. It lacks the spontaneity and terror of
But I don't want terror. There's enough shit in the world. I don't want terror.
I was doing a commission once for these guys. It was a sign, and it was a big sign, and I was painting letters on it, and I turned around and I was mixing paint, and the owner of this business who I was working for, he's like, "Is it supposed to run like that?" And I turned around, and every letter that I painted had run like the Rocky Horror Picture Show, how that looks. Yeah, and I was like, "Oh no!"
Oops.
I had to repaint it. So.
At your cost, at your time.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he was nice about it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I would rather not have surprises like that. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes I do say,
Do you?
yeah. And well, I have. I mean, think about that's how the torch came into being in the studio. And
Don't mention the torch.
I know I need to do a project with the torch.
Yes,
I know,
you do.
I know.
Because chat's jonesing for the torch, as
You
am
mean
I.
you mean Eve is?
Yeah. And Grace is not here to back that up, but yeah.
Yeah, you know.
The torch is... In fact, we mentioned it, so like 30 seconds from now, I expect chat will probably light up with like lots of shouting about the torch.
Yeah, what I'm seeing as I'm doing this, mind you, they're drying, and as they dry, they're going to color shift as well, and that's another reason to do it, because your color may go on bright, and you're like, ooh, I love it, that's what I wanted, and then all of a sudden when it's dry, it shifts, and you're like, what happened? That's not what I was looking for, that's not what I wanted. So that's another reason, besides seeing how the wood reacts and the color, if it changes because of the wood color, to test light fastness, but to also see how this color shifts as it dries. It's not going to be as bright as when it is wet.
Yep, here we go. Torch sounds awesome. Thank you, Michael Ann. So are we still, I know that we've not really gone off the rails. We stuck to topic, but are we going to do that? Are we going to talk about the format at all?
Towards the end, I think.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Towards the end, I think. I just want to get these colors down. The color pencils are going to be a little different, and I will show the email. Whoops, I meant to do this. I will show the email from Arteza telling me what the light fast ratings mean on the colored pencils. These do not have light fast ratings. And I looked it up to see if the 4236 was ASTM. D is based on the light fast, and no, that's based on toxicity for this, not light fastness. But they do claim that their expert colored pencils are light fast, and there has been mixed information given. I've gotten different information from an employee of the company than some of my YouTuber friends have. So I will show the emails that I have, the email I have that talks about the light fast, because I specifically asked my contact how the Arteza color pencils are tested in order to claim light fastness, and I was given no information on how they test. And move this over here so I'm not crossing the camera. They don't say how they do the testing, and they can't agree on what the ratings mean. And what good's a rating if what good is using a rating if you don't know what it is? Now these are definitely pretty colors, and I'm not saying don't get them or don't use them, just know what's going on with them. That's all. Because they are pretty, and they do have bigger sets. I think their biggest set is 96 for these. They only... Oh, Arteza did send these to me. I did forget to say that. They sent me 4 different supplies to test, basically to shut me up. But I'm only going to be testing these 2. I have their watercolors in tubes. I don't know if I'm going to actually test those. And I don't have a code for them. I'm not an affiliate of theirs, nor am I interested in being one. People don't like being treated bad. Now right here you can see the pattern of the birch coming through, because you know we've got the birch lines going through. You can actually see it through the color, and this way you can see how the color itself interacts. They're not knots, but just the grain and the color change. It helps you to see better. There we go. I'll put a little bit more there. I do like that color. Unfortunately, I have a feeling that's going to be a big fader too. But I can see why people like these for, you know, bullet journaling and faux handwriting, card making, adult coloring books. I think they're just fine for all of those. I just won't be using these for wood. Not gonna happen.
Yes, Eve, there was a mention of the torch.
She's just not getting there.
Oh, she had to get to the mailman.
Oh.
The mailman was here, so she missed it.
Gotcha.
A little bit.
So.
Robin Short says Lindsay did a review on the.
Yep.
Yep, and she's waiting for Lightfast info as well.
And Lindsay got different Lightfast results. Email comment results differently from the company than I did. She got actually the opposite. So did Harry.
I think she's talking about the new pan watercolor.
Oh, the half pans. Yeah. As long as you know things are student grade and may have Lightfast issues, as long as you know that, if you still want to get them, go for it. Especially if you're new and you're just trying to figure out what kind of art you like. If it costs less and you're just playing and learning, I don't think it matters.
But I think that there's another component here too that artists before the digital age didn't have, and that is, you know, we touched on it before, is that, you know, you are able to archive your work before it fades, which is a good thing if you need to have that for social media, for promotion or whatever.
Prints.
You know. But also, you know, like, especially, you know, artists, I think we all go through times in our careers and our lives when we're pretty exceptionally poor. And so sometimes you have what you have, you know, and so maybe it's Lightfast, maybe it's not. But at least in the digital age, you can archive it. And so if it's not Lightfast, then you do have a permanent record of it where it's not going to fade.
Yep. Print them out and make cards or whatnot. Yeah, I'm not saying don't do these. I do say that if you're selling your art and you want to use these, to be cautious. Test them out for yourself on your wood and maybe look for something that is Lightfast. Or at the very least, make sure that you inform the customer of the supplies you use and that there may be Lightfast issues, and to use UV glass and to keep out of direct sunlight, which you should do with all artwork. You shouldn't be hanging any of it in direct sunlight. But informing your client, you being informed and you informing your client is the biggest thing.
Well, it is heartbreaking too. Like if you were to deliver something, you know, to a client, and then it was okay for a while, but then, you know, then
5 years later,
5 years later, or even a year later, depending on where they're at and how they hang it, you know, for them to like be really upset or disappointed because of the materials that you used.
Not only that, I would be upset if my work shifted.
And that's like
just for me.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why, like, because I used to do custom work for vehicles, and like that's hard. It's not. What I mean is that there's some liability attached to it, you know, and you know, so if the client takes it away and then something happens to it, then you know you're probably going to be the one repairing it, you know, and And if it fades at all, then that's on you, and that's going to be something that you're going to have to deal with. So like anytime that you are dealing with a client, though, it's like Valarie said, it's just best to use archival media
and be honest.
And be honest. But if you can't, for whatever reason, be upfront with the client and say, hey, look, you know, this is going to fade if you do these things to it. You know, don't hang it in direct sunlight. You know, because even if it's non-archival, if it's protected, you know, and then it may not fade as much, you know.
Yeah.
But they slap it in the window of their house or something, and they're like,
some people do that,
you know, but they should know that, and you should be the one to tell them, so there's no surprises. Because when they come back, and some of them will, if you do that, some will be like, hey, this faded, and then you'll be like, hey, look, I told you, sorry, you know.
Yeah. We're almost done with these. I think I may have drawn too many lines for some reason. Though I guess I could do some color mixes to see how.
That's an interesting question from Eve.
What's that?
If you use these brush pens over a burnt surface, will they pick up the carbon?
If you're doing it directly and the wood isn't sealed, yeah, it probably will.
And Cheryl almost burned her cat.
I dropped water. Hold on.
Cheryl almost burned her cat.
Oh, shoot. Don't burn cats. See, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, well. I dipped my brush too far into the water and got water on the ferrule and went beep. Oh, well. Yeah, I can tell just by looking at them that these are going to fade. And after a while, you will get used to your supplies and having a better idea of what they're going to do.
Paulo Brow is here.
Hey, Paulo. It looks like I made too many squares. I didn't math right this morning. Today was a off day anyway. So some of these are not blending out, and some do an actual pretty good job. Let's see here. Well, definitely be able to see how the grays show up. And then what's going to be tested on the other side over here that you can't see is going to be the Winsor pigment markers. Hopefully, and if you guys want me to swatch those out next week, those take a special way. There's going to be some prep for the board first in order to use them, but Winsor Newton claims, and they have the code for it as well, which means they've been tested, that the Winsor Newton pigment markers are light fast. In fact, they are said to be the only markers on the market that are light fast. They also have their pigment information, so you know what color, what pigment they use for what color. I had Winsor Newton sent me 5 markers, and I ended up buying like 17 more. So I'm really excited actually to try those. I've been waiting to, because I think those have some real promise. Mind you, I realize they are expensive. It's like $5 to $8 a marker if you buy them open stock, but you can get sets. But the colors they sent me to test for what I was, yeah, black and gray and a goldenrod yellow just didn't lend itself to be tested for burning. So I got colors that I thought for flowers, for all kinds of things, so we can see how they do. And as far as I know, nobody has tested them for wood. So I'm excited to do that. And that's what this other part of the side of the board is for. Almost done. And then I will switch quickly. The color pencils, there's only 48 in my set. They make sure to send me small sets. Again, not happy with the company themselves. Oh, I want to ask chat, and if you're watching this on replay, please leave me a comment. How many of you guys think that Arteza products are made in the U.S.? So they're U.S. products. I shall wait. Ooh, you can see the grain right there. And any color media like this is all it is doing is acting like a stain. That's it. It just makes it easier to control. People answering yet?
No, not yet.
Okay. There's a reason for my question.
We have a 30-second delay, so.
Is it 30?
Mm-hmm. I think it's always pretty much a minimum of 30 because.
I thought we were down to like 10 or 15.
I thought we were the other day, but like the stream is really good. Robin says, "Is anything made in America anymore?"
Some things. The optimist.
Cheryl says China. Mike Lance says, "Good question."
Oh, I know the answer. That's why I'm asking. Because I did research this morning.
Research. That's searching again.
I know. Because that's what I do.
That's search again.
That's what I do.
Again and again. Teresa says, Luke Singer says, China?
Yep, they are made in China. Arteza is not an actual manufacturer of their supplies. They are an American art supply distributor. And the products are made in China. Which, again, if nothing wrong with that. There's been a little bit of misconception with that, too, I think, for some people. So.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that we use that are made in other countries in China.
It's no different than, say, the graphite paper that claims, and Speedball does it. Speedball told me they do it. A lot of companies, and that's why you see similar brands that work the same but might cost differently and has a different name, and that's because they license the product under their name. But they don't make that clear a lot of times, and I think that's wrong. On the back of the Arteza box, it does say that they are made in PRC. It says that it's a USA design. So I have the Tombow markers. I do not have the Zig Real Brush markers. So I can't like test. I was just curious if there were any misconceptions. Well, that is a pretty sad statement. What is made here? I think more and more is made here. We just don't celebrate it. Alright. The browns aren't bad. Honestly, the browns look like a stain that you would do, cherry, mahogany, walnut, things of that nature. I'm trying not to get any kind of what they call blooming or backwash. The purples kind of did it.
Backwash is always bad.
I know. Well, it depends on what it's for.
That's why I when I was growing up, I rarely ever shared my drinks because of that.
So you use a straw. Alright, trying to get this down quickly. We are almost done.
Yeah, you said something a little while ago, and I realized this is not a timely response to what you said. But you were talking about the pigment colors.
Mm-hmm.
That's really important in art supplies to know, what pigments that the particular color that you're using is made out of. Because there's a lot of colors that are what we call convenience colors, and but they're comprised of multiple pigments, but it can really help you because if you're trying to find a specific color combination, you can look and say, well, I really like this particular red, let's look at the pigments, and you can, if you have those pigments and other colors, then you can make a more educated guess when you're mixing. And that's really important. And also it tells you a lot about toxicity and things like that. So, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. What's that? Chris, is it there's still backwash with a straw? Yep.
Okay, you got to know how to use your straw right then.
Yes, Paula. Knowledge is power, and the more that you know.
And you give me a hard time for having to look up everything.
Today, on a very special burnt drawing with fire.
I have a lot of background in research. Just doing it. And I don't mind doing it.
Yeah, when they came up with that motto, just do it, I don't think they were talking about research. Just do it. Research endlessly.
See, this is a low pigment wheat color.
What is that?
That is dolphin gray, which is not meant to be dark.
Is the back of the color the back of the...
I'll pull them out. These really need to dry first to tell.
Okay.
I'm guessing the caps are going to be off,
Yeah.
a little off. The color caps, which is another reason again to do these swatches, because you may think one color looks a certain way because of the cap or the color of the pencil, they've painted it, but then when you apply it, it's actually not the color you thought it was.
And a lot of times that's like an approximation, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's fortunate for me because media that I use is a lot
Acrylic's a little easier.
liquid media, and the bottles are generally clear, so I can see what's inside.
This is what Jason's asking about, the color cap, and if they match the colors that we're actually getting. Sorry.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's oh, and like a lot of people, I think people know this, but like on oil paints and acrylic paints, like on the tubes, you have that swatch of paint that's on the paint tube, and that's actually the paint that's inside of it.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing.
Let's see here. We're almost done. One color. And then we'll quickly look at them and move on. Move on. And I'm trying to get to these colors as quickly as I can to try to blend out. And some, because of the colors they're using, some colors just don't want to move. And that's normal. So you'll have to decide what you want the piece to look like before you start laying down color, so you can make your decisions. Now, if I was going to use these on a piece, and I wanted to use them over the varnish, I would do a couple more layers of the varnish first. I only put one down, and so I can see some of it's going in the grain, which is normal, but might be able to get a little brighter. I'm trying. Come on. Last color. And that is black. Which the black is going to look different on the wood. I made like way too many squares. I did not do my numbers good today.
I've never known you to overdo anything.
Smart ass.
That's unusual.
Oh well. I need to test these on leather and see what they do on leather. Because I don't know. They're water-based. And I think leather uses more solvent dyes. Ooh. Add a lot of color. Don't need this much.
That's intense.
Well, it's black. Which they called it noir.
Noir.
But you can tell, like, there's a blue dye that's used in it. Let's see here. I'm going to guess that there's probably a violet.
So we would say it's a pen noir. It's the kind of pen that a private investigator would use in the 40s.
All right.
They talk about themselves in the third person.
All right.
I used my Arteza pen to swatch some colors. The wind blew, but I didn't notice it.
All right. I think I had the 48 still stuck in my head, but this is not enough for 48, so I don't know what I did. Alrighty.
I thought you were talking about 40. I thought you were going to start talking about beer.
Oh. Alrighty,
Got
so
my more pen and my 40.
real quick, we will zoom in, I think. So you can see better. And I will grab a few colors. I don't think we need to go through all of them. I did keep them in order so I can put my numbers later. So there we go. So here's the yellow. And if you notice, the end cap is not the same. But it does help that you can see the actual color on the brush, which is a little different than a regular pen. That helps. Let's see here. We got a super bright pink. This one is neon pink. Let's see if it looked neon. Which it's by the red. No. Though it might look a little different on camera. Colors pick up differently. It's not quite as pink. So no, I'm going to say the caps do not match. Let's see here. Dry. Okay. So that's the colors. And if you, again, this is just one layer of varnish. It might cover a little bit better once you do a couple layers. The right side is all me using a little bit of water mixed in on the brush. And some of these colors do separate. And some of them, I don't know if I would use some of these on the wood. I mean, I like the colors. I just don't know if I would use them. Now, when I go to do a light fast test on them, I will probably maybe do half the varnish and half the raw. I'll cover a strip so that part is not exposed to the sun. And that way because a lot of people will do a swatch and cut it in half so they can put it back together and compare. I don't do that. I will swatch a big enough swatch so that I just can tape over, cover half of it, and that way I have all the information in one place. I don't have to worry about anything being loose and easier to see. So I'm going to move my water bucket because I no longer need it. My white bristle brush isn't really stained. That's a surprise. I was expecting it to. Alrighty. There you go, love. I don't need that no more.
You don't need it?
Nope. It's in my way.
You want me to drink it?
No, put it over there.
But my phone's in the way.
Let them have your phone.
Alright. All my stuff.
Because I'm having to move stuff too. Lucky for us. I may not even do all these colors, to be honest with you. So,
well, we are
on camera.
We're closing in on 1 hour.
Okay.
That went fast.
I tried to swatch as fast as I could. Usually the 48 colors are not in order. I like my colors together. Why? Damn it. I'll write the numbers as we go then, because I don't have time. What I did pull out to go along with the colors is, and I'm going to have to mark these as we go because of things not being in order. I've got a Caran d'Ache full blender. This is supposed to be really good for colored pencil and watercolor pencils. I have my Finesse colored pencil blender that you've seen, my regular pastel color shaper that I use, and I need to find a container because I did pull out some, that makes so much sense now. Can I borrow your, no.
What now?
Can I borrow your odorless mineral spirits?
Yeah.
I didn't realize I have linseed oil.
Oh, okay.
God.
Give me
Oops.
Give me a second.
Oops.
Get Bernadette in here.
Alrighty. So, what order? What order?
Let's see. Well, you want me to? You just want me to take that?
Yeah, I don't need it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Cool. I can make it into
Actually,
a
though,
Frank
I
flask.
might. Give me 2 seconds. Actually, I might have.
Well, I can go. But continue to work.
I was looking. But I don't. Alright. So I need. It explains so much.
I'll be right back.
Alright, so we'll start.
Take over, Bernadette.
Now you will have seen in other videos that the Lightfast ratings for the colored pencils, they show they show 1 as good, 3 as the excellent. In other, like Harry's video, Lindsay's video, where they've discussed these pencils, the excellent is the 3-star. But in my email, which I have right here, where I specifically asked my contact how to tell me what the rating scale was, and based on what testing. And the only information that I got back in regards to this is the 3 symbols represent, which I already knew that. I needed to know what the numbers were. They told me 1 star is excellent, 2 stars very good, and 3 star is good. Now when they say good, excellent, very good, supposedly excellent is supposed to be Lightfast and a museum quality lighting for at least 100 years. So Arteza is telling me that the 1 star is excellent, where Lindsay and Harry were told that the 3 star was excellent. So that is why I'm doing my own testing. They also did not tell me how they tested these pencils. These pencils are from China. I saw their bill of lading specifically for the colored pencils. So what I'm going to do is just put a swatch out, see how they lay down on wood. Remember, this wood is not sanded, and so it's going to grab a little bit more of the pencil. I did not pull any colors to check them with Prismacolor. I'm just trying to lay down enough color so I could do a couple little blends. Just trying to lay some down. These are claimed to be wax-based, meaning that there's more wax than oil in them. Oops.
There you go.
Oh, gosh. Thank you. Oh, you only got a little left.
Well, yeah, but I still have another container.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to blend on the swatch itself with the color blender, which is alcohol. Feels so dry when used on wood. Wipe that off. And then, I may not actually use that one anymore. This is the Caran d'Ache blender. And I just see. No, I wouldn't use that on wood. Alright, I'm not going to test those other ones now. I'm going to lay down.
You're going to lay down?
I'm going to lay down a little extra black.
You're supposed to be live streaming.
I know. I need this. I already showed them the email.
Oh, did you?
About the Lightfast, yeah.
Oh, you're so busy while I was gone.
I was trying.
Paul Lockwood wants to know.
Hey, Paul.
Has anyone used Derwent ink tints pencils?
I
think that was for chat. But
oh, okay. Let's see here. I need to find a place because what I'm actually using, you can't read it, but it's paint thinner. It's odorless paint thinner. I just need a little bit on my brush to blend. What did you do to this bottle?
I didn't do anything.
I just need a little bitty bit.
What did you?
It fell under. I didn't throw it. popped out of the lid. So I only have a really tiny little bit. I don't need a whole lot.
What exactly did you drop?
It's the inside of the plastic.
Oh, I thought it was the whole cap.
No, I had the cap.
Yeah, really? That's good to know.
Excuse me. Dry throat. I'm going to use a filbert stiffer brush, and I'm going to dip it in some of the mineral spirits, wipe it off a little bit.
I was not aware of that.
And use that to blend.
Guess I do too now. Yay.
Oops. And what this does is it breaks down the wax so that you don't get the, I'm probably going to need more. I'm trying to clean off the brush. So you don't get that waxy layer that won't allow you to add any more color. And it helps to blend when you're trying to make new colors. And see, I thought this was a purple color based on the just glancing at the pencil. So no, the color here does not match the paint of the pen or paint of the pencil. So let's lay that down. So this one claims 3 stars, which means this one's our indigo, isn't it? Yeah, indigo. That means that it's only good, which in general, indigo is only a good color on Lightfast, depending on the brand and what the media is. See, even with this, you have to be careful because I'm drying the brush off, but it still travels in the grain. And I just realized I probably should have had an area of that swatch that...
My favorite color is not indigo, it's inigo.
Inigo?
Yeah, but I can only use it when I'm drawing the 6-fingered man.
When you're being Montoya. Inigo Montoya.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty purple. And I do plan on swatching out the Prismacolor. They have more colors that are Lightfast, but they still have issues with their Lightfastness as well. So this purple is only good based on however they tested, which we do not know because they did not tell us. Karen Dosh and Derwent, they test here in Arizona with that lab. They also test in Florida. I do not know if Faber-Castell does. I'm going to assume they do because they have similar ratings. I'm trying to clean that off.
So you don't know how they're tested?
No, I do not know how these pencils were tested.
So in theory, they could have gone down to their local tanning salon and thrown them into a tanning bed.
That would be too much. In theory, honestly, what I think they did is they said, okay, this pigment is Lightfast, that pigment's Lightfast, without taking into consideration that the binder affects Lightfastness. So however the pigment is delivered, whether it's water or oil or acrylic or what have you, that affects how something's going to be Lightfast. And I'm wondering if they just looked at the pigment color and said, oh, well, that's Lightfast pigment, so it must be a Lightfast pencil. And it does not work that way. Because let's face it, if Arteza had paid, because it is not cheap to have one of these laboratories do the archival testing on these colors, had they paid for it, one, the product would cost more if it was Lightfast, and two, they would have it all over their products because you want to scream, our product's Lightfast, so that professional artists will use them. What they've done is giving it to YouTubers who are also, most of them are still also professional artists, but given very limited information. And I'm just too damn stubborn. I spend 50 hours on a burning. If I decide to add color, I want to know that color is going to hang around. Now, I am going to take my own precautions to help that, but don't tell me something's light fast and then have it not be. So I'm guessing Arteza is not going to be too happy with me, especially if they see this video. Now these should blend better if I was able to lay down more. You know what? That's fine. I'm gonna only blend out a couple. That'll also test how well, if they're light fast when they blend out, because that's another thing. Not all pencils, or they don't have absolute answers as to when a pencil, whether watercolor pencil or color pencil, is blended out if that color pencil is still light fast. And DeWitt is testing that to see if, like, the watercolor pencils are still light fast once the binder has been interrupted. Ink tints are not light fast. Now some of the colors are light fast, but overall ink tints are not light fast. But Derwent tells you. And the blue will scale, which is what Derwent uses, is a little different than the ASTM, which tends to be used by us here in America. So there's a bit of research with all that. I wonder if I should have pulled some Prismacolor just to see. Honestly, I think the Prismacolor, I know that this wax is a little harder. And if I like the Prismacolor because they're softer. Again, another product that would be great. Oh, excuse me, for hobbying.
Okay.
Oh, I coughed and talked and swallowed at the same time. I'm not that multi-talented. These pencils could definitely be used for other things. I'm not saying don't get them. I want people to make art. I'm looking at this, trying to get all the information that I could find, so that you can make your own decision for your own art as to whether or not it's something you want. Honestly, I think I would buy the Prismacolor over these. Even knowing that they have light fast issues. You've seen me use the Prismacolor. The Prismacolor actually, I will tell you this. I don't know if it'll happen again this year, but if you're looking for Prismacolor and you want a big set, look around Black Friday, because I bought the 150 set for under $50. It was like 49 something for the 150 full set. So I would keep your eye out on that. Let's see here. I didn't sharpen any of these. That would help a little bit in getting down into the grain. But really, all I want is to be able to test these, see how they look on the wood, and to light fast test them.
So, how are we going to light fast test these?
It's going to go up in my window for at least 6 months.
Oh, okay.
At least, if not longer. If I see fading before the 6 months is over, I'll pull them. Because pretty much once they've completely faded, they're not going to fade anymore.
And the window that Valerie's talking about gets a lot of fun. So.
It's the east facing. I wanted to get this done earlier in summertime so that There's more sun from the south. But here, up here, at 7,000 feet up, with a thinner atmosphere, we're just always exposed to the sun. We have... That's why people wear bikinis and bathing suits skiing down the mountain. They're hot. It's not because they're awesome.
They could be awesome.
Well, I mean, yeah, they could be awesome, but...
You're not awesome.
It's not strictly because they're awesome. How's that?
Zoe Hitchhikes is here.
Hey, Zoe. Oh, this is a bright pink. I know Eve loves the opera pinks. This one's called Peony. But I'm telling you, this pink, the color of the pencil is brighter than the lead. So, see, part of me just wants to give these away because I don't need them. But at the same time, I know there's better products out there, and I don't want to give somebody...
Well, if you're not going to use them, then they should go to a good home.
They should go to a good home.
You know?
Maybe I'll donate them to the school or something. One of the elementary school up the road. Because they do claim non-toxic, so... Maybe I'll drop them off up there for the art teacher. Or maybe we can find a woman's shelter.
Maybe it would be nice if we find somebody who's an aspiring artist here locally, you know, and who didn't have the supplies.
Well, that's why I'm in the school.
Yeah.
I'll figure out something for them. I don't want them to go to waste. Like I said, with everything I've got, I'm not going to.
Yeah, Eve says it's so eye-catching. I love neon pink.
She does. She loves it.
You know, what's funny is that when I started my art journey, like, I don't think I ever used pink or purple or, you know, any of those colors. But I think that those are colors that I use more often.
Pink?
You're
You're only using pink because I picked it.
No, I'm talking about in general.
Oh.
I use it in combination with other colors to add vibrancy.
Oh, okay.
Especially if it's in that same spectrum.
Yeah. Well, I guess I could test some other stuff like in here. I don't know what it would be right now.
Katie, or Kate, I'm going to butcher this name. Kayati Patel says, hello, everyone.
Hello.
Tell me how to pronounce your name, please.
Or we can call you Kay. Whatever makes it easier for you and you're comfortable with.
A name is an important thing.
It is.
It's important for people to get it right, for it is how they know you.
This is true. Everybody pronounces my main last name wrong. They all think I'm a Connell. Connell's a different
Cheryl
clan.
Bennett says Thomas says hi and good night.
Hey, Thomas. Good night, Thomas.
Good night, Thomas.
Let me get this laid down quickly. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to test here, but I need to test something. There's no use in wasting the area. See, right now, the way I'm laying out the colored pencil is how Arteza has them in this set, which makes no sense to my brain. That orange should have been by the orange over here.
Do you think they're laid out mechanically, like by a machine?
Probably.
Or do you think that like in the factory,
somebody's
like they have
screwing with me?
Workers put them in differently, and then there's like certain workers that are like, I'm gonna go by the colors of the rainbow, and another worker is like, I'm gonna do it this way because I'm gonna do it alphabetically.
I'm gonna guess machine because their largest set is a 72 set.
Oh.
So there's going to be colors in between, but I don't know. Not most of the companies don't seem to do rainbow order. I just want some kind of pattern, whatever that pattern is, and this don't got no pattern because it's not even like it's like primary colors and secondary colors. It's not even that. I don't know what. I'll have to look at it more to see what the pattern is. in general, when you're doing your pyrography, you don't want it to be like, you want it to be smooth, not like this. I'm just trying to get the color down. That's all. And probably what I'll do for this row is I'll put a strip that covers the bottom of this and the top of that, just so I can consolidate space and tape and whatnot. I don't know. Let's see here. Now, I wonder if more people are going to see the video, the live, because I was told in Facebook in my poll, the biggest answer was people are not getting notifications of my videos. I need to figure out a way to resolve that. On Facebook, I think I found the answer. I think. Kind of. We'll see. Alright, so this is the first 24 of their colors. And if you're watching this on a replay and you see a pattern of the colors, let me know in the comments.
We have about 10 minutes left until we're at our hour-and-a-half mark.
I'm trying. I just finished that batch.
Is it okay for us to start talking about some of the other stuff?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So one thing that we're going to be doing, starting with this live, I'm not going to...
You're going to have to talk louder. The mic's over here.
Yeah, they can hear me. You can hear me, right, Chad?
The last time you asked, they said no.
They totally can hear me. Anyway, I'm going to be doing a recap video of the live, so that if you don't have the time to watch the whole video, there'll be an abbreviated recap. So, and then...
and I've given him carte blanche on however he wants to do those videos.
Yeah,
so complain to him if there's an issue.
Yeah, but keep in mind that I care very much about your subscriber base, all of your toasties. But I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and I generally don't care.
I know that.
But we love you guys, but I don't care. Anyway. So that's going to be happening later on. I can't say when it's going to come up because I have a busy week as well. So I'm going to get that up as soon as I can. Of course, Val will be putting it up. I'll just be making it, and she'll be posting it. So
yeah.
And then like 5 minutes after it's posted, she'll be like, and she watches it, she'll be like, "Oh no." But
no, I want to laugh.
But so that's going to happen, and then we also, coming out of this poll. During the live streams, we're going to try and devote the first 30 minutes of the live stream to the information, so that if you're watching and you're just here for the information, that the majority of the information gets put out. This was in response to some people saying that they really don't like the social aspect of the videos.
The lives.
But I know that some of you are here because you do want to hang out, and we respect that. So it's the way it's going to be formatted. We're going to try this from now on, is that the first 30 minutes is going to be more informational, and of course we're still going to say hi and answer questions and stuff, but we won't try and get off topic. But then after that 30 minutes, then we'll
it's open.
We can go off the rails and do what we're going to do.
And that's also to make it so it's easier for people watching on the replay. It's the live replays don't translate as well when you're not there live. So that will help make things a little more fluid.
And we're just trying to nail down the, like, how do we reach more people, and how do we we can't appease everybody, but how do we make things better for you guys? So
I'm gonna try.
So that's what we're gonna do.
As for the joking and the laughing, that is not going to change for the lives. I like it. It helps me feel better. It helps me get through it. So it ain't changing.
So yeah, I agree. When Paul says that's what lives are for, social.
Yeah.
I agree. So I'm going to be spending some more time doing video stuff and then I will try and nail down a time so that I'll start doing the video stuff for me as well. My stuff's going to be a little different, so
you just want to play the videos. That's all it is.
huh?
You just want to play with the videos.
Oh, not really. But
so I want to be able to accommodate as many people as possible. I know not everybody has the time to watch an hour and a half live. I know that half the world is asleep right now. You know? I want to be able to help as many people as possible. Now I'm going to go back off camera. I'm not going to do it right now. And make sure I put the color number at least. Because I kept the pencils in the order that I swatched them out on. Just like the markers. And I'm just going to put the color number. And well, let's see how the white does. Well, the white actually may not be a bad pencil for
it's pretty vivid.
Yeah, for the high highlights. Mind you, I'm pushing really hard, trying to get it laid down. And if the wood is smoother because you're burning on it, there's not going to be as much pigment laid down. But that is a decent white. Give them that. But you cannot buy these opened stock. So if you like a color, you have to buy the whole set. If you run out of a color, you have to buy the whole set. All over again. See, this color and that color, they're just too similar.
I'm thinking about color. So over a year ago, you picked out a set of colors for me. You were like, yeah, because
I wanted you to be spontaneous and open and
yeah, all that. Anyway, so she picked out these 3 colors. I'm gonna post this on Instagram probably later today. But she challenged me. She picked out 4 colors.
Colors that he would not normally use.
Yeah. So I'm finally doing that piece, and I decided to do a tiger because I haven't done a tiger in over 2 years, and it's just a basic one. But I'm going to do it like Canis Lupus. I'm going to do it with a tiger constellation.
Oh, cool.
But it's a constellation in Chinese mythology, the Western Mansion. So there's a constellation for that.
Oh.
So it's supposed to be a white tiger, but I am going to...
It's going to be a pink one.
Well, no, it won't be pink. No? I'm using pink mainly in the background, but there'll be pink in it. But yeah, she chose some crazy colors for me, and I am just now getting around to doing that. So, yeah, because I'm on... I just
because it wasn't a pink, a teal, a yellow,
a pink, a teal, a purple.
Oh, purple.
The teal. There's a dark blue, and a brown. There's like a.
No, I didn't do. I only did like 4.
No, there's a brown there. It's not.
Huh.
It's not too off from the color that you're using right now. It's kind of an orangey brown.
This is turmeric, which is closer to yellow ochre. No, the next one's yellow ochre.
He has though a basic tiger. So, just I just want to do something so that those colors could stop staring at me. Because
I think you added colors because I only did like.
Well, 4. I added white because I did these black gesso canvases. And without white, it would just, it's not that it wouldn't be a good challenge, but I do want this piece to be marketable. So I need the white to brighten up some of the colors.
Yeah.
So, but that's it. That's the only 4 colors.
We're almost done. I got 8 pencils after this.
Yeah. You're taking, on average, about 30 seconds per pencil.
Well, I'm having to push hard, and my hand is killing me, but I have to get back to burning pretty much.
Well, I know you got that. You have that piece. Can I say?
Nope.
Well, can I say what it's for?
Yeah, it's for the AAC.
Okay, yeah, your AAC piece.
Yeah. Temperate Forest.
Well,
is the theme.
we had a challenge in my college that I went, my first college that I went to, that one of the challenges was to do a painting in colors that were not colors that we normally use, and we're only allowed to use 3 colors. And
that's pretty much what this was.
And also we were not. And another one of our challenges was to do painting, but not to use traditional tools. So I ended up using like I had
hairbrush, wasn't it?
No, I used some canvas remnants that I had.
That's right.
That I made into kind of like a blending stump, and so I didn't use a brush for the whole project. I just used that.
That's right.
So interesting stuff.
My finger hurts.
There was no secret pen reveal, Chris.
Oh, it's going to be in the video, but it's not like I think I want the pen adapted, so pen's not ready. I need to talk to Pat. I just haven't had time. But it will be in Thursday's video. So it's still a good pen. It's just for what I want it for. It needs to be adapted a little bit. That's all.
So Zoe says, with this color combo, I'm surprised you didn't go with fairies. And, you know, it's just that I haven't done a tiger in so long. So
yeah.
Podge, thank you very much. He says Eclipse is his favorite.
Oh,
it's
cool.
One of my favorites too. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, you just finished that one.
Yeah.
3 more after this. Now, is anybody seeing a color pattern as to why they would lay out the colors this way? It's on 2 different sleeves. And the first 12, first 24, sorry, are from the top sleeve. Yeah, these are a little harder than I like for on the wood. Looks...
How many more you got left?
Yeah. One after this.
You okay?
Yes, I was trying to... One after this.
One after that, so 2.
One more after this.
That's 2. This
plus that one more after
2.
this.
No more, and then
my hand hurts.
Almost through.
Last one.
It's gonna sound like I'm making you do this, and it's not the case. I am not responsible for this. Val is responsible for her own.
For what?
It's not me.
What's not you?
Because you're like, I have to do this.
I wish I would have taken the time. I didn't look at them. Well, I was trying to find a new way to advertise on Facebook about the live and whatnot. So I did not have time to put these in order because this is driving me nuts. Alrighty.
All done?
Sorry.
Oh.
It was the plastic. I need to stack these the right way so that I can number them correctly. Because some of the colors are like too close. And I'll do this. And I'll do this. Alrighty. So that's what we got. Let me back it out. There we go. So those are the colored pencils. I will test the Lightfastness. I'll probably do a bigger swatch of these right here so I can tape over them. I didn't personally care for the blending on the wood. I didn't like it. Like I said, we've got the Lightfast issues in the 24 set. I believe there's only like 3 pencils that are considered excellent Lightfast. I think out of the whole set, let's see here, 1, 2. And any of your favorite colors probably aren't going to be light fast. I'm just trying to quickly look at this 3. I also need to take out the other sleeve.
Michael Ann says they look like they're in rainbow order in the trays. I think that's what they look like to me.
Yeah, but there's 2 sleeves of rainbow order. So on the top sleeve there is 4 that are light fast. Hey, why'd you move? I didn't say you could move.
See, you could order that. You could arrange these any number of ways.
I will. I just didn't have time.
See, I went through this in the 80s when I was arranging my cassette collection. Like, I arranged it alphabetically by artist, by color, and then, like, every month I'd be like, no, something's wrong. I have to go rearrange these again.
Well, based on what I'm looking at, we are only looking at max of 5 pencils out of the whole, 6, 7, 8. 8 pencils out of the whole 48, which, did I say there were 72 pencils?
I don't remember.
Yes, is 48 or 72 the biggest? Either 48 or 72 is the biggest set. I cannot remember off the top of my head. But out of the 48 set, you only have 8 that are excellent light fast. That does not allow you to claim light fast on your whole product.
That's only 1/6. Hashtag math.
Yep. I call BS. I will test them and I will give you guys an update. You guys see how they're laid out. You saw how I applied them, so you know what all is going on there. Don't have to worry about that. I mean, the colors are pretty, and if you want to use them, by all means do so if you have them. Just know that things are going to fade. Take as much precaution as you can with the UV spray, the UV glass.
Closet.
Vision
goggles.
Yes, in order to save it. And if you're doing commissions or selling to clients in any way, I honestly would stay away until we at least get the test done and see what the light fast looks like. If they do better, I will update that. I have no problems doing that. Because wood is going to be different than paper in some aspects, because the paper, the pigment sits on top. With the wood, it can, it gets down in the grain. So there are different factors in regards to paper and wood that we're looking at as well. Honestly, if you don't have them, I don't know that I would buy them. Prismacolor, you at least got a few more numbers and they're creamier to use on the wood. So it's definitely personal choice and what you are wanting to achieve.
But if it's what you got,
use it. Have fun. Practice. Figure out techniques that you haven't tried yet. You aren't wasting your supplies if you've already got them. Try them.
And these would be good if you were like doing commission for a client and you were working out colors and you needed to have a meeting with them as far as like, composition, things like that. Because then you could, because then it would be something like, hey, this is the composition and this is the colors I'm thinking about using, and you could go off of that and you wouldn't have to worry about that because that's a one-time meeting for a piece that they're probably not going to see again.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. I thought you were talking like a color comp for a finished piece where the colors you're going to be using are a different brand, therefore they're going to look different. But if that,
No.
But since we don't deal with people like that, though, we got wood burners and people who like art. For hobbies, I think they're fine, especially if you already have them. Don't be discouraged. Play with them, practice with them, and then as a color runs out, replace them with something that is more archival, that is less student grade, they call these colored pencils expert, which is supposed to be their artist grade. Based on my feelings, I think it's still student grade.
They could be expert, but they need to be clear on the lightfastness. Because it could be for illustration work.
But even student grade can be fined for.
It can be.
For artists, I mean, for professional artists, it just depends on the job. And in regards to burning, and if you're selling your art, I would be very careful. And I've got I didn't mark the symbols on here, but I will. So if we don't have any other questions,
We do not.
I think we're going to finish it up here.
Okay.
So I'm going to put Winsor Newton pigment markers over here. Do you guys want to see what those look like real quick? Because if so, they're right behind you in the drawer. Second pastel box on your left.
I thought we were leaving.
I know. I just want to show them the marker.
Hold on. I'm trying not to knock over everything.
Pastel box.
The one on the left?
Yep.
The second drawer on the left.
Just pull a marker.
That doesn't look like pastels.
No, they're markers.
Oh.
I need marker. Marker.
That's what you want?
I just want one of these. All right, so I'm gonna be looking at the Winsor & Newton pigment markers, which have their light fast rating here. Winsor & Newton has to be weird on how they do it, but A is, I don't know, I have to check. And your pigment information. And it looks like these are made in China too. So look at that. All right, so I'll be testing these next on this side. So I hope this helps. I hope everybody has a great day. And if you're new here, please subscribe. And even if you're subscribed, hit the notification bell. People aren't getting notified of my videos. And that's a bummer. So I don't want you to miss out. Happy burning, guys. Bye.